Hi, everyone, and welcome. This is Kara Newman, and this is the Saturday Human Colony Hucolo webinar. It is Saturday, November the 9th, 2019, and today our channel is going to be... Hi, everyone, and welcome. This is Kara Newman, and this is the Saturday Human Colony Hucolo webinar. It is Saturday, oh my goodness. So anyway, sorry for that. Our guest today is Jim Charles. Welcome, Jim. How are you?
Hello.
Hi. So we have people lined up to do some blessings. Why don't we just start with that, and then we'll get into all the news and everything. In your room.
Very good.
Go ahead.
Who's first? Yes. Speak into the mic. We like to introduce new energy and new prayers to your group. We want to know how you feel about joining the universe in a great union so that we all may be friends and neighbors with one another. We are new to this area, but we would like to bring you the thoughts of peace, friendship, and unity. We will be with you and serve with you, as always.
Thank you. Go ahead, Barbara. Oh, is it? Oh, sorry. Oh, David.
I'm going to go.
Angie's going. Okay.
Otokori atakara asi nunukuturi I sanankaar urakati I sheshoko ora o ara imaroko tukuuri I amanakatiki shanna ara akato u naniataka asatsiata horakata shashmiataka a.
Life awakens a million times every moment. We are aware of all the things that are emerging in this universe and in the next. Please be with us and wishing all the best for all things that are coming to pass. Your planet is no exception. You have great things to achieve in this realm at this time. Please be aware that it is important that your missions be taken seriously and that you move forward cautiously, as there are times when the enemy is lurking.
Thank you. Okay.
Anyone else? I'll do one. Oh, David's going to do one.
Yeah.
Come up here.
Ta aturo otukuki she hatana hewe tuwe. Hrue kate yashana hatoa atewe heshi. Kura hataye shikire otukukushkire ene etiwana hataye mana hatukukiwa. Uya shawahari tu ro kiki na hatawa heshi. Utura hataye shikina hatawa.
Continually fill your life with light and love and unconditional love for those that are around you. Feel that there is a great potential for love to spread and for this ascension to awaken in a greater way even than it has. Bring us together and bring us in thought one to another and in telepathy and empathy to all those around us.
Thank you. Very nice. Okay, so how's your week been? Good? You've had a nice 2 weeks since the last time we saw you? Anything exciting?
Well, yeah, I got a sinus infection.
Awesome.
Yeah, awesome. But I'm over it now. So it's just a very small bit of it left. So I'm very thankful that it's gone. But it gave me a 7-day rest. I missed 7 days of work, which is like unreal. So I'm glad to be back.
Okay, we're glad you're back as well. And then you have coming up in just a few weeks, you have the magic class, correct?
Magic class is on the 7th and the 8th from 1 to 4 Eastern Standard Time. And for those of you that have not sent in your payment or whatever, remember to send it in to Angie. Can you give them that address? It's online now.
It is online. I did put it, the post on Hucolo public and private. aspeed6456@gmail.com, and I can send you a link to for payment.
Okay.
And also just information about the class.
Are you almost
many-
full? Are you almost full? I heard you were almost full.
Well, we had many requests.
Mhm.
How many people? About seven or
Seven
eight have
paid.
already sent in their money. Yes.
Okay. So you have a little room for some more people.
Oh yeah, we can. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, good. Yeah, I think
Yep.
in Zoom you can have like 100, so we got some room.
Yes, we have some room.
Okay, very good. All right. Anything else coming up for you, or that you want to announce, or any other announcement?
The advanced white magic class will be in January or February. Also, there's other things coming up. I can't remember what they are, but
That's all right.
we will discuss that at a later date.
Okay, that's good. All right, so I will tell you, we have some requests. If I miss
Very good.
anybody, please let me know. But I have Grendel, Elijah, Spirikos, Grendel again, the Pleiadians involved with Ascension, Marcel Vogel, who is a crystal creator person, Merline, and then also King Arthur and Uriel.
All right, very good. All right, I will do a little bit of meditation, and I hope everyone has a wonderful session. And I will be back later. I hope all your questions get answered, and have a great day.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. No. One moment, please. It's difficult getting in, but once I get in, it's all right. Greetings, everyone.
Greetings, Grendel.
Hi, Grendel.
Good to see you. Well, barely see you. So, how is everyone doing today?
Good.
Hey, good.
So I heard that there were some questions for me, so I came through. Now, Elijah said he wanted to come through, but he said he'll wait till later. So I will come through first. So what questions are there?
Sheer has a question for you.
Sheer, how are you? Hello?
I think he's unmuting. Give him a moment. 1 second.
All right.
Yeah, I was just unmuting. How are you, Grendel? Can you
I
hear
am
me?
very well, thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Well, it seems that the government, how I'm going to say it, let me rephrase it.
Yeah.
It seems that we are going to a third election.
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah.
So what
We're talking
the
about
hell
this,
is going on? Because it was a huge deal to go to a re-election, which never happened, and now going maybe for a third elections. Is there something happening? It seems that something is happening behind the scenes. It seems that the current Prime Minister, Bibi Netanyahu, is trying to grasp straws and not give up his throne. It seems that no one is going to join any sides. It's a mess. So
Yeah.
what is going on? What is the real reason?
Yeah, let me tell you what's happening. First of all, everybody, this is about Israel and their leadership. All right, you may not know that, but Shir lives in Israel, and he's talking about his own government there. And the leadership there is taking their cues from Putin and from Trump, the way that they're acting in their governments. So he is going to stand firm and not back down, as it were, in any way, shape, or form, because he sees that this kind of action has been really successful in this particular day and age. The rumors are coming down through the lines that everybody's going to stand their ground as firmly as possible and not give an inch. So this is what's happening that is in the front, in the front lines. What is happening in the back of the thought process is that he has his hands fully in control, as he believes, in the situation in the Middle East. He feels very comfortable that he is able to predict or understand what's going to happen because of the past. He's seen how they've acted in the past, so he is now going to predict how they're going to act in the future, and he doesn't think that anybody else can actually do this because of his experience, because of how long he's been there, and because his advisors are agreeing 100% with him. So therefore, even though they're going through this third election and all these different things, it's going to be very rough to get him out of there, because there's going to be a coup I'm just going to say, I'm not going to say that because I don't want to put any thoughts in your head, but I just think that it's going to end up with a very indignant outcome because of the way everybody is thinking, and the way they are posturing for this new election is very different.
Also, the thing is, there's like 3 ongoing cases against him.
Yes,
and
I
it's
know.
been that way for a couple of years, and now it seems that he's going to be, on trial. So,
well, yes, but he's following the direction of Trump, who is having the same situation. I was telling you, he's watching what Trump is doing because Trump has been successful in getting out of a lot of problems. So he is taking that same kind of attitude, same kind of thought process, and having his people understand that the people around Trump are all very, very supportive and tight. So he wants his people to be the same. And even though he may go on trial, his people are going to stand up for him.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for your input.
Yes, we see what's going on there. So it's going to be, he's taking his thought process from other leaderships. And right now, that's the one that works for him because he's in a similar situation. Yeah. That's why I mentioned it. Anybody else? A lot more going on behind the scenes there, Sheer, than what is being said. And the understanding is that that it's going to be hard to get him out of there. Is it warm in here?
Yeah.
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 Was that good, Sheer? Is that all your questions?
Yeah, I said thank you. So.
Okay. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Anybody else? Anybody else?
Ava has a question. Ava has a question. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Greetings,
so
Ava.
Greetings to you, Grindal. Lovely to hear you always. I listened recently to your interview by Max about all the manipulations of humans by electromagnetic, oh, this English language.
Yes.
Waves, and some other interviews about the Magi Kings, King Arthur. It's all very honestly fascinating, and I have some questions about it. If the cabals are so hugely manipulating human race,
Yeah.
and there is this enormous gap between how they live, who they are, the technology they have, and rest of humans. Will they ever allow actual disclosure, or would they basically kind of, is it going to be even?
But they won't be able to stop it, dear. The thing is about disclosure, the major disclosure or the major contact from aliens to the earth will be through computer technology at this point, and they won't be able to control it. They are trying to prepare for it because they know how they're going to do it in some ways, but they don't know how. They know what they're going to do, but they don't know how they're going to do it, which means that when the aliens finally do get the right moment, they're going to take over all computers, all televisions, all electrical equipment on the planet and make him an announcement. That's all. They're not going to come down in 50 ships. They're not going to frighten the American or the population of the world. They're going to, it will frighten them a little bit, but the message will be very clear that they're friendly. Now, many won't trust that. You have those that will not ever trust any friendly message from a foreigner or an alien. So you have that aspect of the population that will not accept what they have to say, but there will be an enormous portion of the population that will accept what they have to say, and they're going to tell them when they're going to arrive, how they're going to arrive, and wait for the people to speak from the planet to accept them. They're not just going to arrive. They're going to say, you have to let us know if that's okay with you. So there's many things that are going to happen, but you're not ready for it yet.
Muted.
You are muted.
Okay, sorry. My question is relating to that. If humans are so manipulated and the governments in some ways are manipulated too, does that even free will applies here? Because it's supposed to be free will, but doesn't even exist and it applies when
Free will only exists. Let me tell you about free will in this planet. As your planet started off with a great deal of free will, but as time has gone on, free will is getting less and less because more governmental rules are taking place. The more governmental strategies and rules and regulations that are given to the populace, the less free will you have. However, you do have free will to make personal decisions, decide how to make your money, do these kinds of things. However, the overall consensus is that you don't have full free will because of all the rules and regulations made for you to keep you safe, but actually keep you in control is what it is. You are muted again.
Oh, so sorry. So this Magi Kings and King Arthur, they're coming to help, I would assume. And I don't know, what are you allowed to already tell us about?
Well, I don't know their whole agenda because, as you may know or may not know, the Magi Kings are something of a mystery to the universe. They were there at one time, a long, long time ago. But since then, their names have been blotted out of history. They are no longer, no one knows what they did or why they were there. They are now re-emerging into this realm, into this set of dimensions, because they weren't here. They came through a rift in space, and that rift is over near England somewhere in the United Kingdom. And they came through there. Two of them have spoken already, but they're all 12 have made it through, but they are being fought because their position is that they are to take back control of the universe. And the universe is in a compromised situation with different species and different entities that want to keep their rule on the universe and on these areas of space that they already have control of. Now, they're controlling through manipulation, whereas the Magi Kings are saying that they will not control the universe through manipulation, but through a very pure, loving, godlike relationship with all the peoples in the realms. So from what I understand, this is the argument so far, but you will find that they are not speaking out much yet. They are waiting to see. I'm not sure what they're waiting to see, actually, but they're waiting to see something, obviously. And I don't know what that is, but they will speak again soon. I see somebody that's called for King Arthur to speak today. Well, I hope he does, because I'd like to hear more what he has to say. But all the kings are through. Do we know their names? We only know a few. That's it. And because their names have been erased from history from such a long time ago, they're going to have to reintroduce themselves. They are according to them, they are the original owners of the 12 holographic discs that are all the information of the universe up to that point. All the technical information, all the universal knowledge that's there, except for the Akashic records. They do have the information from the Akash, but this has more of technical value to it and controlling value to help other populaces become more powerful. So that's what I understood, but I can't actually speak to it directly because their agenda has not been fully revealed. So I am saying to you right now, I'm hoping that they will speak so that we understand them a little more.
That's all interesting. I have last question. I'm sorry I'm taking so much time, but these are some of my questions. I think it's for everybody.
Yeah.
My last question is, a lot of these very amazing beings are incarnated in human bodies, and some people on this call are basically beings trying to help. But when we are in human body, we're so limited. We have to deal with this regular lives, paying rent, taking care of these weird bodies, right? Which are very demanding. So we are in some ways like so inhibited. What's the point of being inhibited?
Yeah, you don't get it. Hold on a one.
Yeah.
The body has to, you feel limited because of the human body. However, the human body is not as limited as you think it is, but because of the way you were brought up, your belief systems and all these different things, the human body becomes slightly like a prison to those that are trying to do greater things. You have to understand that the soul, even though many people do not understand the soul, it is a creation of God, and all the things of God are in the soul. You have a creative element, you have all the gifts of the spirits there, but you have to understand that you can call on these, but most people don't. They're told, nope, that's not going to work for you. No, you can't be this way. No, you're not going to do that. No, no, no. Everybody's limited. They're told about their limitations. They're told that they can't do things. You have to change that thought process and bring in the I cans, and you bring in the thought that light and spirit can do everything. Your body is only a shell. You can fill it with a light and with a power that is greater than the human element. And many people have not learned how to do that yet. There are some, but not enough. You are in an age of ascension when people are awaking and people are finding a greater spirituality, a greater understanding of God, a greater understanding of the universe. But they're still feel limited because they're born into this third dimensional body. Do not let that hinder you. That is one thing that is told to you by everyone in the world. You can't do it, but you can. That's the new message. The new message is you take control with the light. God is the light. God is the source. If you cannot bring that source into you in a powerful way that makes you a creator in many senses, then you have to find a way to do your mission without it, and it's almost impossible. So therefore, find the unconditional love, the beauty, the source, the energy, the power that is the God energy, to be able to overcome this third dimensional body. You say, well, we're born with the third dimensional body. That is absolutely correct. And you must operate through it. But there are ways to get to the next level. And that is what you must seek. You must not just sit and say, oh, I have aches and pains. Oh, God. I have this and that. I can't do it. I'm too tired today. I can't do it. My son has a cold, so I have to stay home. You can overcome these things with a greater power. You can heal your son if you have this greater energy. Now people are going, I don't know. Sounds a little bogus to me. But if you have experienced, some of you in this room have experienced God's energy, God's power. Some of you in that room as well, angel energy, angel power, creator power. You know it is possible to overcome the human body. Some of you are doing great healing work. Some of you are doing great, interesting out-of-body work. You're able to bilocate. You're able to send messages across the universe. There are things that some of you are doing that humans are told they can't do. But they are now starting to do these things. Why? They are in an age of enlightenment. This age of enlightenment will wake you up to the greater gifts of the spirit that are all within everyone. But you have to understand, you must have a positive outlook for the future, for who you are. And don't let the third dimension tell you or dictate all the things that are you, because you are greater than the third dimension, especially those of you that are born into the third dimension from outside this realm. Some of you in this room, some of you out there are born there. You are human born aliens, basically. You're hybrids. You are here, but you know there's something different about you. You came into this world with a disconnect. You came into this world with, why am I here? This society doesn't seem to fit with my thought processes. This society is different than what I think it should be. These are thought processes of higher realms that you brought with you. You have to overcome them, connect with third dimension, and then connect with the higher elements that are here. Some of you have already done this. Some of you have already done this, but not everyone. It's a greater, even greater connection than you think. And some of you are still learning that there is greater energy to help you with your missions, help you with the healing of the earth, help you with the healing of Gaia and the people in it. Now, do not feel limited. That is the one thing you have to take away from your mind thought, is that I am limited. All right, you will reach a plateau at some time, of course, but a plateau is only a plateau. You can go from there. You may go across the plateau for a while, but then you can start to rise again. But you will find that you are not as limited as you think. You are as limited as you believe you are. And what I say, some people go, I'm unlimited. I know that I am, but what are they doing? They're not doing anything. They're trying to believe it. And I'm saying, who are you trying to convince that you're this great being? You have to know it within yourself. You have to reach and pray for it. You have to work for it with looking and studying how others in the past have reached enlightenment, have reached higher sources. Now, you may find that your style is different than other people's. That is fine. You're all made differently. You're all from different places. And your ideas of how to do things may be different. But find what works for you. Find what helps you move forward. Is it meditation? Is it prayer? Is it doing yoga? Is it doing qigong or Reiki? Or is it galactic energy healing? What is these elements that will help you to move to the next level, to move to the place where you can actually reach out from there and grab onto another level? You have to understand it's a growing process. Grow, be enlightened, show your enlightenment, to let it just happen to you. Believe that it can happen, because it can. I'm sure there's going to be questions about this. All right. Next.
Thank you so much, and feel free to slap me sometimes if I doubt again.
Well, honey, I've been slapping you for a while, but okay, you know what I mean. She's a sweetie. But yeah. All right, next question. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. Any more questions?
Yeah, Steve has a question. Go ahead, Steve. Are you ready?
Yes. Hi, Grendel.
Greetings, Steve.
How you doing? So I've been getting these intuitive feelings, and this is pertinent to everyone, about the future relations of face-to-face interactions with positive reptilians such as yourself and society as a whole. Do you know anything about tentative plans about diplomatic relations? Because of course people aren't going to be ready to see you in the physical, after, right after Pleiadians come and the other ETs that look like us, they're going to need some time, right? And
I'm going to have to get out my Nixon mask. And that's even more frightening than what I look like. But anyway, I'll tell you what is going to happen is this. When they do show themselves to the world, they're going to look very human. They're going to look very much like your species, slightly different, but yet still very human. And that would be maybe the Yahyels. They're supposed to be the very first that makes contact with this planet. But, there's much argument out here in the exopolitical stage about that. They say I don't know. I don't think the Yahyel are ready to make that kind of entrance. So there's others that are volunteering to do that. So there's a fight going on, not a fight, but an argument going on about that. But the friendly reptilians are all around your planet. The 𝗪𝗖𝗡𝗧𝗘𝗡𝗧, the Zespoids, the friendly reptilians. There's also the not so friendly reptilians, which are the Zeta reptilians and the double X, whatever they are, reptilians. I don't know very much about them, but there's several reptilian species. There's not just one.
Right.
And they are very interested in making inroads with the human population, and especially 𝗪𝗖𝗡𝗧𝗘𝗡𝗧. They're very, very proactive. They're making their way through. And the Zespoid, I have finally gotten some of my people interested in making contact with this world because they see the importance, they see the historical event that it is. The planet itself is historical, and it's going to be a historical event eventually. So they're starting to wake up and smell the coffee, if you will. But they are now sending people here, such as myself, to speak. So we are also becoming proactive, not as proactive as the 𝗪𝗖𝗡𝗧𝗘𝗡𝗧. They're like everywhere, but they're very positive. So we are going to try to get our ambassadors from humanity. We're bringing people in as ambassadors. We're not allowed to bring them off the planet, but we're allowed to talk to them.
Right. I feel like I'll be talking to you guys on Mars before you actually touch down, but I really feel strongly that's going to happen when I'm old and gray and whatnot. But I like to see you guys as you are. I don't want to see you guys with human costumes on. I want you to let it all out. All right. I'm cool.
There are many that are like you.
Right.
Many like you that want to see us exactly how we are.
Right.
I look a little bit like a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
That's fine.
I come out and it's not a crocodile kind of.
Yeah, I've seen a picture. It's like lots of teeth, but the snout isn't protruded.
Yeah, it's a smaller snout, right?
Right.
And also the little hands are, I can't help it.
That's fine. You can hug me as best as you can, and it'll be okay.
But anyway, but we're able to do a lot of things because we have a lot of mental power. We have a lot of abilities. We learned how to use sound and energy to our benefit, so we don't have to use our hands as much. So
telekinesis,
sound and tones of vibrations, energies, all these things. So our technology is more in that realm, so that we're not actually building things. We're actually we had to actually build at the beginning. It was very difficult.
Right.
But we overcame that with the abilities of telepathy and telekinesis and different things. But we are trying to make inroads as well.
Yeah, I know I'm going to be helping counteract that intergalactic racism that will be there at first,
Oh, there's going to be racism. Absolutely.
Right.
You're going to see someone different, and you're going to want to judge them as not being like me.
Right. Or like in the Predator movie, when Arnold Schwarzenegger calls that guy ugly, that's not right. That's just his species, we shouldn't be thinking along those lines.
Well, he's probably going, you're calling me ugly. You're a piece of dirt. Yeah.
Right.
You're really ugly.
Mutated monkey.
Yeah, really. So it's like they sort of have the same opinion of each other. It's like, yeah, well, look who's calling the kettle black. So anyway, that's not a problem at this point, because one thing I can tell you is this: you can say anything you want about the aliens out there in the exopolitical realm. They do not get offended by humans. Well, first of all, most of them don't get offended. because you're a subspecies and you don't know any better.
Right.
So when you say something nasty, it's like correcting a child and saying, no, that's all right. You'll learn better.
Right.
But, they just don't get offended no matter what you say. And those of you that respect you for who you are and what's going on still don't get offended because they know you don't know them.
Right.
You don't know them. You know me and as who I am. So you never offend me because you know who I am. And
so they're not insecure like we are is the basic gist, right?
Even if you offend me, I'm not offended because you don't know what offends me.
Correct.
So, I lived with the human population for several years.
Yeah.
In the military in the United States in the 60s. See my story. Nivi is making a film of it. So there's a good plug for you, Nivi. Anyway, you're going to find out we do have peculiar ways, and there will be reasons that people won't like us, and there will be reasons that people will love us. So it's just a matter of being part of the neighborhood, learning who we are, what protocols we have, what kind of language we have, what are the differences in the meanings of the words, and who we are as thinkers, who we are as doers, who we are as humanitarians or not. So there are species that are very much to themselves. There are species that are aggressive. There are species that are very kind and loving. There are all kinds of species, just like there's all kinds of people.
I'm sorry. It's okay, Grindel.
I don't think that was a Freudian slip, but I just don't think the L came out. It just didn't work in the translator. So anyway, it's all right.
All right, I look forward to the cultural exchange. I think it's going to be beneficial a lot for our species.
I think it will. Yes,
yeah.
We have a lot to offer.
Yes,
but you have things to offer us as well. So it's going to be it's not like you have nothing to offer.
Right.
You have definite things to offer us. So it's beautiful.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Grindel. You have a good day. Thank you.
You too, man. Very good.
Thank you. Is there any questions in your room?
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead, Angie.
Yes, step up to the mic, honey.
I just want to go back to the belief systems. I want to go back to how we have been programmed, or our belief systems have been limited to keep us in a certain thought process that we can't, but now they're trying to get us so we can. So are you saying that the opposing forces are trying to keep us?
Oh, well, all right. I know what you're saying.
Okay.
You're the people of your planet. It's just normal that governments, religions, and things of this nature want to keep control of their people. Doesn't that make sense? They want people to be under control. They want people to be safe so that they can rule them, or they can give them the information they need so they can have what they would consider a better life. However, there are many things and many freedoms that you can have outside of the things that they allow, and that is what is being stopped. They tell you, let's start when you were young. They tell you can't do this because it just won't work for you. That's not who you are. They're trying to tell you who you are. They're trying to tell you what your identity is. But you must discover your identity for yourself. You must discover who you are within this realm on your own in some ways. Yes, listen to different things because it is teaching and training. However, don't hold on to all the negativity that's being passed forth through the peer pressure, through the karma, and through your parents. There's a lot of negativity that goes along with that. If you would try to look at yourself in a more positive thought process, you would see that there are certain kind of angers that belong to the soul and certain kind of angers that do not belong to the soul. Such as if my neighbor accidentally mows over my flowers, your anger and rage is so great. Why is that? It's only flowers. It's only flowers. Your rage should be saved for injustice. Now, somebody would say, that is injustice. Those are my flowers. But I'm talking about injustice to other people, injustice to other races, injustice to those that are around you that need someone to stand up for them and take their side. Not having your flowers mowed over, that's not a great, incredible injustice. Do I make sense to you?
Yes. Can we take that just one step further and go beyond the third dimension and bring it into a higher? How much are we controlled and limited outside of the third dimension in regards to trying to keep certain thoughts in the people outside?
Well, that's up to each individual. You see, outside of the third dimension is the spiritual realms, the higher dimensional realms. There's so much to talk about outside of your realm, outside of the third dimension. But let me say this as well. There are other third dimensional populations. There are other third dimensional beings out there. And those are the ones that you can see with your eyes. If there are other beings out there that are in fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, you can't see them. Your solar system is filled with ships that you can't see because they're not in your dimension. And you keep hearing us say, wow, there's a ton of ships out here, but the scientists are going, I don't see anything. So that's because they're in other dimensions. They're not in this one. But remember this, it's hard to move forward to a future dimension, but easy to move back to a past dimension. So therefore, I know I'm getting off the subject, but many of these cultures and races can move back and see all the things that are happening with third dimension, but you can't move forward to actually see what they're doing. So keep that in mind. But in this outer dimensions, there's all kinds of things that you need to look at. Not only the spiritual aspects of it, but the cultural aspects of it, the power of it, and all these other things. I could go on forever and ever on this subject. So can you make it more specific?
I'm looking at, are there outside influences right now trying to control or set certain thoughts into certain people to keep them in a certain mindset?
Right. All right. Let me explain it this way. Every individual has their own vibration. And there are those out there that would want to manipulate those vibrations of human beings. You're with me so far? But with that manipulation, they have to find a vibration that fits a realm of all the humans, because there's all different vibrations to humans, and that it can be a constant so that they can control the minds, if you will, of the many. They have not been able to do that. Why? Because the vibrational thought processes of humans change radically at this venture in time. Many of you are manic depressant. Your mind goes from this frequency to this frequency, and that loses, they cannot be controlled at all. It's all right if you come through. But anyway, it is that there is so many frequencies for the human mind. Of course, they have a standard. It goes from here to here. But they can't seem to still control the population from outside the realm because humans change so much. And if it does, the only time they can lock in is during sleep periods usually. And sometimes they can lock in and get some information, some of that information through in the sleep periods, but it's not fully successful because it's only partial information. They need this information to continue full time, but it doesn't. You wake up, those thought processes are like, wow, that was a weird dream. I had this really weird dream last night. You ought to heard it, blah, 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 blah. But it did not take over your full thought processes for the day because your energy and vibration changes during the waking hours. And they have not been able to control that because the planet is awake and asleep at multiple times. So it's not working for them. All right, got that?
Thanks.
You're welcome. But they are trying. All right. Any more questions, or should we bring somebody else?
No, well, there are more questions, but it's up to you if you want to bring someone else.
Well, it's always nice to have variety, but I am wonderful.
Yeah, that's
one more question.
Well, I have questions from the chat because there's several for you.
All right.
I think Jim needs water, Grindel.
All right, right.
Yes.
All right. Okay, good.
Don, can you help me out here? I can't scroll up on this chat to the first question that you had.
Yeah, okay, just a second.
You can ask them, if you can go through and ask.
Oh, that's better, yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you. Forgot to say thank you. I know you have those.
Okay, here's one. This is from Janet Pine.
Yeah.
When Grindel said the Magi Kings have come through the UK, in the UK, were they physical?
They are, that is a good question. They are not completely physical yet. They have come from the space between the universes, which is a dull, empty area. All right. And they do have physicality, but they will only have physicality once they make connections through all the dimensions. They are only in the third dimension at this time, and that is not a comfortable place for them. They have to reach through all the dimensions. They're multidimensional beings. And so, as they are just here in the third dimension, they do have some third dimensional, what is the word? Physicality, but not completely. So they're not complete individuals yet until they are connected. Their energy is connected through the dimensions. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
All right.
I have another question. Okay, this is from a fellow by the name of 𝗪𝗡1. Question for Grindel. Was the Canadian election fixed?
Oh, wow. I could sit here and talk about that for a while. To a point, it was manipulated. I won't say fixed, but I will say there was some manipulations. And the idea of manipulating elections now has become universal with your planet. Everybody's trying to fix every election. It's like, give me a break. You people need to get a life. They want their own agendas and nothing else. This is a very sad time for that kind of thing. Everybody wants their own agenda And if they don't get it, they're upset, they're mad, this is one kind of anger that is not a good thing. This is not standing up for justice. This is not standing up for the right of, this is just I want this, so this is what I want.
Thank you. Thank you. Another one is from Peter P. His question is, are there other species, aside from those represented by Girk Fitneer, that have hybrid children programs?
Yes. You are not aware of all the hybrid children programs. There is even a reptilian hybrid program, which is not part of Girk Fitneer. There's also a couple Arcturian programs, a Fendorian program, 2 Pleiadian programs outside of Girk Fitneer. There are many hybrid children programs. However, they are not permitted to engage your people with their program as of yet, because they have the rules that don't match what is permitted for your planet.
Thank you. Okay, I have a follow-up question from Janet Pine as well.
Yeah.
One question for Grindal. Are people going to be able to channel others from your society?
Oh, of course.
And if so, can we put in a request?
Well, I don't know if anyone remembers Sparkle. Does
Yes.
anybody remember
I
Sparkle?
remember Sparkle.
Sparkle was from my realm. It was a female reptilian that was starting to make some communications with your planet, except she got cold feet and backed out. You don't hear about her much anymore, but she is about to make a re-entrance in the near future, but she's not coming back as Sparkle. She's going to use her a different name because she thinks Sparkle can't be taken seriously. So so she's going to come back with a more realistic name from our culture, and she is going to start working with humans.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. That was all the questions I had from YouTube.
Very well. Then I'm going to
Blessings.
let somebody else come through. It was wonderful seeing all of you today.
Thank you, Grindal.
Much love. And there's somebody waiting. Who is it? Who could it be?
I know who it
All
is.
right. Yeah. Oh. All right, I'm almost out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. No, you know that. No. Greetings. I am Elijah.
I knew it would be you. Welcome, Elijah.
Thank you. I just want to reiterate something that I had spoken a while back, but it is a very important thing, and it is about judgment. Judgment is something that is very painful, especially if that's how you live your life. You judge everything around you. Every person is judged. Everything that you do has judgment to it, and people are always judging you. Now, some of these judgments are all right, because it's like, should I go here? Are they a nice person? Are they not a nice person? Whatever. But there are many judgments that go beyond that are unkind. There are many judgments about things in the world that you do not know if they are true or not, but you will judge anyway. Is this political person good or bad? You hear this from this side and this from this side. How are you going to make a decision unless you actually know what's going on? These are the kinds of judgments that are causing the world to polarize. These are the kinds of judgments that are actually saying bad things about good people and good things about bad people. But who is who? Sit back. Bring into your heart the truth about who you are. It is important that you become truly who you are before you can actually look out and know anybody else fully as well. I'm bringing about 5 different messages in and making it into one. Because you must know yourself. You must know who you are, why you are, and act on that. Then you can look out here and judge the world. But judge it fairly. Judge it without great malice. Judge it with unconditional love. There is good in everyone. There is kindness and life and love in everyone. There are some people that have forsaken their love, forsaken their kindness, forsaken their ways, but it's still there. It is still there because God is still in their soul element. So be careful. Know thyself first. Know thyself for who you really are. Be fully who you are. And you know how to know when you're fully yourself? You are happy. You love yourself. You are true to yourself. And God is part of all that mix. Be happy with yourself, and then you will know that you have reached who you are. Some people are happy with this part of themselves, but not this part. So analyze it. Get rid of this that you don't like. They'll say it's not easy. Life is not easy. But it is necessary for you to purge out the things that offend others. Purge out the things that offend yourself. Remember, you are here for others. You're here for yourself, of course, but you are here. Your mission is for others. And something that might be a block to others limits your ministry. Limits how they see you as an individual. But that's all I'm going to say for today. I wish you all a great and wonderful day. And I hope all of you find your true selves, and all of you love yourself as much as you can. For it is coming a time where you need self-love and self-determination to keep balance in this world. It's easy to be thrown off balance in this very deceptive world. Stay focused on yourself in a non-selfish way, but in a perspective. But pay attention to the things around you and the energies that are there, and reach out whenever necessary and touch and heal. Much love to you. Greetings. This is Merline, or Merlin as some of you call me. I prefer Merline. It's a little different. All the books say Merlin. And they say that I'm a fictitious character. But that fictitious character was based on a real character. Just as King Arthur's character was based on a real character.
Okay.
But,
there was, Christine is next in line to ask a question, though I don't know who actually requested you. But Christine, can you give your question to Merline or no?
Well, I was listening to the Shiny Show where they interviewed King Arthur, which was hilarious. And one of the things I think I heard from somewhere is that a lot of that of King Arthur and the Isle, I forgot the name of the Isle that was out there, is another dimension that just for a brief moment came into the third dimension.
that is correct.
Did you come from that particular dimension?
Yes. That dimension was the one they call Camelot. That's not really what it was. But it was not even on your planet. It was hovering above your planet. This particular dimension made itself known and did visit the Earth in physicality in some ways from the sky. But the whole Camelot scenario was there intact above the Earth and not on the Earth.
Did the people during that time understand that that particular, I mean, they were more mystical, I would think, since they were more connected to the Earth than we are today.
It was an attempt for the, you see, the stories that of the round table and all that, these things existed, but the stories were made up. They didn't get the right historical content to the King Arthur scenario. It was, yes, it was there, but they made up this wonderful story. It was all fiction. Whereas it was an attempt for the kings to return again to this realm and reality, because they have to come back through third dimension. They cannot come back through any other dimension. They must come back through the third dimension, which is the lowest of the dimensions, so that they may come up through all the others. And so there's been many attempts, even through the Christ scenario where Jesus was here, and 3 of the Magi kings were there with Jesus at that time, and their names are Melchior, Balthazar, and Gaspar, and they were there, and they were trying to actually do this once again, but they didn't have the support that they needed from the universe. So now perhaps the stage is set for them to return.
What about the swords?
Excalibur?
It's swords in general, because from what I understand from a channeling to King Arthur was that the sword thing about burying swords and whatnot was just a game that they had, where they would toss their swords and see who could impale a tree the deepest or something like that. But there's also swords found in the bottom of rivers, where they held their swords so sacred that once they did a great battle, supposedly they would throw it into the Lady of the Lake or the water.
Correct. This is a certain period of human history, yes, that they did do this. The sword that is most famous for King Arthur and for myself is Excalibur. Excalibur does exist. It is a relic, and it does empower those who possess it. What happens is, as soon as you actually remove or have this particular sword, it actually takes a bit of your DNA so that you are the possessor of it at that time. If you give this sword away, whoever you give it to, their DNA will be part of it as well, because relics and DNA go together in many situations.
So we're hearing. Thank you very much. And
You're welcome.
thank you for coming.
It is my pleasure. There is a question here, if you don't mind.
Please.
Hello.
I'm David.
Greetings.
I'm interested. I heard that I was your apprentice at one time, and interested in anything that maybe you can share with me that may be helpful for me to help others, or any kind of guidance.
Well, that was a long time ago, and you have to relearn the magics in this realm. This realm has a different kind of magic than what I wielded back then. This kind of magic from Gaia it is here for you, for your people. And the magic that I wielded back then was for my people, my dimension, my era. And so there was an era of magic on this planet a long time ago that were from other realms and helped with, some of it became very dark, actually, and some of it became very light. But it's still practiced, but that kind of magic is diminishing in power on your planet as the new magic is coming forth. All right? Now, as an apprentice, you would know that you must study. And that is what's going to happen with this. It is going to be a different kind of magic, but it will be able to do many things that the old magic thought process was able to do as well, but in a different way. You'll see what I mean for those of you that are taking and trying to learn this new magic. It's made for your people, though. So learn it the way it should be learned and wield it the way it should be wielded. And it is going to be, there will be relics. You will be able to make relics. If you become a full magician, you will be able to make relics. That's how relics are made. Full magicians give their magic into an object. It takes sometimes months and years, depending on what they're trying to do. But to make it permanent, they have to then destroy the spell afterwards. So, and then it's permanent and no one can destroy that spell. And the relic remains with the same power it always had. So just learn it properly.
Okay. And also, is there possible to share anything about the process of manifesting? I heard someone channel you once, and I remember bits and pieces.
Manifestation is, there are many ways to do manifestation. Magic manifestation is different than what you call the law of attraction. Although the law of attraction uses energy from this realm and from this being that you're using. It's a positive interaction with the matrix. All right. What you have to understand, and what will be taught to you soon, is what the matrix is and how to use it. And this matrix that you live in can be manipulated. And so when people discover how to manipulate the matrix, then they can bring things to them that they wouldn't normally be able to do, because they understand how the matrix works with them and how it is able to bring and manifest these things within them. The matrix is moving both downward and upward and takes up every bit of space in eternity. There is always matrices flowing through you. So understand that you can manipulate the information from a matrix out there to come and flow through you. That will be taught.
Beautiful.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I don't know who's next. Oh, Ava's good next again.
Yes.
Hi.
Greetings.
You disappeared, but I'll talk again. Anyway, so thank you so much for teaching the classes. I'm looking forward to the next one. I know that the Magi kings were here like over 20,000 years ago, but when was actually the Camelot happening in relation to human time?
The what?
Camelot, when was it actually happening?
It was a BC. It happened more than once. Camelot was here more than once. But interaction with the earth came in the early, what year was it? It was so early 1500s, I think.
All right. Okay. And my next question, so at that time, they were dragons flying and all kinds of creatures, which we don't see right now. What happened that later these beings became subterranean and we couldn't, what happened like the England king,
there was
reptiles, and then now they were reborn as humans. So how did the switch happen?
The thing is about all that, there was reptilians from other places that were visiting the planet. It was perfectly fine to do that at that time. That is not allowed anymore because the species had already been seeded, and at some point the galactic government said, all right, we need for these certain elements to disappear so that the human species can develop properly. So if these beings were still there, it would have changed the development of the human race. So therefore, they were told they had several different decisions. They could leave the planet, become subterranean, blah, blah, blah. They had several different decisions that the galactic government gave them. And many decided to go subterranean, others left, and there are still those that are visiting your planet and doing illegal things here, but it's cut down a great deal. Landing on your planet is illegal. Making contact with humans in the third dimension is illegal. But the things of those times, there were reasons why these different species and different reptilians made themselves known to your people. They wanted notoriety. They wanted to actually help your species to grow. And there were some even as recently as 500 years ago that made some very important civilizations on your planet.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I have a question whenever.
Would you like to come up?
Yes, thank you.
There's someone here in the room. Yes.
Hello, Merlin.
Greetings.
It's nice to be with you right now.
It is good. Thank you.
I had this insight last night. I felt like there was an elf here, a female elf.
Yes.
And she was saying that environmentalists are actually very important people on this earth because they are freeing the earth of a lot of poison. Well, they're trying to.
Yes.
That prevents the magic from working. Can you speak about environmental cleanliness and magic?
Yes.
Thank you.
The magic is coming up through in several different ways, but the most, the cleanest way it's coming up through is through the vortexes that many of you have created. And Gaia has created as well. Sometimes magic is coming up through volcanic eruptions, sometimes through earthquakes. It escapes up through the ground that way. But it is through a true it's meant to be there, and it's truly started at the end of 2012 when the ascension started, when the fourth dimensional energy started to be released as well through some of the portholes. And it is an amazing time for your world. And yes, the cleanliness of the planet does depend on how well magic comes up through. And so the elementals are working very hard to keep the planet clean. But there's a lot of chemicals in the air. There's a lot of things happening to the soil and to the topsoil that they have to be very alert to. Some of the trees are dying because of the things in the air. So they have to be very judicious on how they take care of these things, because it's different than it was in the past. But yes, they're very busy.
Well, I was also
What?
I just want to speak of I also want to speak of the environmentalist movements to clean the earth.
Yes.
That it's somehow I don't think I gave them enough respect or enough. I just want to bring that up. That's also very.
The environmentalists are
about what they're
important.
doing and how important it is for magic to return.
But
aside from the elves and
the environmentalists know nothing about the magic, though.
I know.
But they do know that it is important for the earth to be cleansed of these different things, and they're doing everything they can to take the radiation out of the waters, to take the poison out of the soils and different things. So yes, their movement is very important. However, they're putting some chemicals in the soil to remove other chemicals in the soil. So that can block the magic as well, because they're not aware of it. So what is happening is the elves, the elementals are working on removing everything they put in the soil. Okay. So some of the environmentalists are purists and will not put chemicals back into the soil and have plans for very natural tilling of the soil and aerating it and having things of that nature and very large scales. But and that does help. But there are other ways that they are developing now that will cleanse the soil in a more efficient way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
May I ask a question about the Magi?
What about them?
You're working with them?
Of course, I always have.
So your magic is ancient and their magic is ancient. Where is their magic coming from? Another source, another galaxy?
They will have to understand that a new magic is coming forth here, and they will have to develop it on their own. They will have to. My magic is from a different part of the universe. It's from their realm, their original realm. And my magic is still good. And it is good in my realm, and it is good in many other realms as well. And I can make it good in this one as well. But it is not the kind of magic that is being brought forth in this realm. But my magic will still work here because I am a 12th level magician, of course. So it can work anywhere.
Okay, and the magic that the 12 Magi want to practice?
Well, they're more concerned about getting through and regaining their stature and regaining the discs before they worry about the magic. The discs will actually, the holographic discs that they're trying to reclaim actually have magic in them.
Which is connected to the crystal skulls?
Correct. Yes.
So if somebody is a guardian of a crystal skull,
yes,
they're also connected to one of these kings?
In some way.
So they can maybe channel one of those kings if they're connected?
Anyone can channel them.
Anyone. Okay.
They will allow anyone to channel them because their information needs to come out, but they are not ready to do that in a full way yet.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I just have a question too.
Of course. Yes?
is the magic that we are gathering, is it usable at this time?
It is to a point, but not there's not enough gathered yet to be extremely powerful. You will have some somewhat powerful magic that will affect your human nature at this point, but no one that I know of has it collected up through the solar plexus completely yet.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
There are some questions. Don, can you get the ones from the chat, please? And actually, sorry, there is one from our room. It's Lua. I can't say it.
Temple also had a question.
Okay, but so did Lau.
Yep.
He had one first. I can't say your name. I'm so sorry.
Pronounce your name for us, please.
Lue had a question first.
Lue, greetings.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good. Usually my mic gives me trouble. It's Lawae.
Lawae. Wonderful.
Thank you so much for coming through. I actually I don't know if this is off topic or not, but I had a question about a recent astral travel of mine.
Yes.
I was recently taken by a spirit and kind of deposited on top of 𝗪𝗡𝗕𝗓𝗓, or it's a rainbow mountain in Peru.
Yes.
And then I was taken to the Pucmayu River nearby, and then I was taken to a favela in Sao Paulo, Brazil, all in this same travel. And I was supposed to talk to somebody there, and my waking memory is not so good about this travel, except the imagery. Can you tell me why I was there?
Yes. The South American area is a great area of alien visitation in many ways from the past. There's monolithic societies there that are very important to history, and there's much history in Brazil that has not been discovered yet from ancient aliens. Also from different, in Peru, Bolivia, and Chile, if you pronounce it, Argentina. These areas have great amount of alien visitations. They are going to be found that there is more information there than they once even knew. You were there to uncover some of this information so that it can be discovered more easily.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Don, can you ask the questions? Or Temple, did you have a question?
I did. Hi, Marilyn. It's nice to see you again.
Greetings.
My first question about magic, I think, has been answered, but I do have a question. I'm just wondering if there are any more Stargates that have been opened.
There are only the two at this time, Stargate 11 and Stargate 6. Stargate 5 is close to being open, but has not been opened yet.
And what is the difference between, like Ramses was telling me something about a small Stargate versus a large Stargate?
Yes, there are 12 large ones and 52 small ones. The smaller ones were in smaller areas with smaller villages, but still connected to the monolithic areas, if you understand that. These smaller ones can only handle 1 to 2 people, whereas the larger Stargates can handle groups of 10, perhaps. I'm not sure. I have not even seen them on this world. They're in another dimension off kilter from your view. So what I understand is the smaller ones are in the smaller societies, but still very important because many of the representatives from the monolithic societies did make visitations to the villages that were connected to their belief systems.
So when we talk about general of so many stargates that eventually will be open here on Earth, are we just lumping them all together as the large and the small? Number wise? Okay.
No, when I talk about the ones that are open, those are the large ones. The large ones, number 6 and number 11 are open of the 12 major ones. Now, the 12 skulls are connected to those 12 gates, and there is a black skull that is connected to the controller, the center of the clock, if you will, and it is a controller of the gates as well. But that will not come forth quite yet. Those things are not nearly ready.
Okay, so
the skulls have not been collected in one place, for one thing.
right. So the large ones are the more important of the stargates.
Those are the ones around megalithic societies, such as Göbekli yes, I can't say it. Göbekli Tepe, Chichen Itza, Machu Picchu, the pyramids, Stonehenge, those ones.
Do we have a number of small ones that have been opened?
There are some smaller ones that are operational, but in order for them to work correctly, DNA must be put in them, and they are not functional because the proper DNA has not been added.
Okay, I was told that we opened a small one, so that's why I was just wondering if any of the
You may have opened it technologically, but it needs DNA. Did you put any DNA in it?
I thought they said we did.
All right. In that case, the DNA was cloned and put into all of the stargates that exist on and off planet.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, my next question, this is Dawn. This is from Tim Deutsch in the YouTube chat. And his question is, what is the state of the space-time rift that has opened up for the Magi Kings? Has it, has it, this question mark.
Has it closed? Probably is the question.
Okay.
And yes, it's on it. Since all the kings are through, they're working on closing that rift, for it's dangerous to keep it open. All those and all things that were there in the place where they came from, I'll put it that way, the in-between place, have been gathered, and everything is in somewhat third dimension, but it is not completely in third dimension. So yes, they're working on repairing the rift.
Do they need help closing it?
They do need help closing it because these kinds of rifts tend to want to open in greater and greater ways. Okay, fortunately, it has been controlled and it is closing slowly. But the kind of energy that comes in through these kinds of rifts is not really very good for third dimension or any dimension.
Okay, that's that good question. And my next question is, okay, this is from Amazing Grace. I have a question about chemtrails. I have noticed in the last 48 hours an increase in the chemtrailing being done, gridded and spiraled in the atmosphere. What and why is this being done, she asks.
There are certain species that want to terraform this planet for their own use. And that is what the chemtrails are mostly about, especially those that are not human chemtrails. The human chemtrails have been realigned to be more Earth-friendly. They're not completely Earth-friendly, of course, but they have been aligned to be more Earth-friendly at this time. But those from outside your planet, from reptilians and insectoids, are actually, and there's some grays working in that area as well. They are trying to terraform the planet to bring it into their kind of atmosphere, their kind of growth patterns. Now, unbeknownst to most of you, Stonehenge is actually many different things. One of the things that it's an interdimensional area for movement between the stars, but it is also a terraforming area for this planet. If it's necessary, it will be activated, but that is only if it is absolutely necessary. The terraforming machine is actually subterranean, and if you will note that there is a lot of subterranean pillars in that area, and Stonehenge is a very large area and not just this very small ring of stones.
I have one follow-up question from Tim as well. Which of the Magi Kings is linked to Stargate number 5?
That is a good question, Emma. I know the answer to it, but I am not sure that I am allowed to tell you yet because they are not established. But they're saying that I am allowed to tell you that it is, one moment, please. All right. King Gaspar.
Thank you. That was all the questions I had from YouTube today.
Very well. Then
Blessings.
it is time. Perhaps it is time for me to go. Is there any time left for someone else?
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Very well. I will bring someone else through. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
I am Spiricos. 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗧𝗘𝗡𝗧.
I believe Barbara has a question.
Greetings.
Greetings, Merry. My question is, Grindel had mentioned something earlier about the 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗧𝗘𝗡𝗧 and their intervene with the first contact.
Yes.
And can you explain a little bit more what the 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗧𝗘𝗡𝗧s have agenda for that?
The 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗧𝗘𝗡𝗧 which is my species, have several ships around this planet. And we are doing many different missions here. One of those missions is to find an ambassador that we can trust and that will be able to speak to your people as well as our people about the international, intergalactic, and interstellar situations. Right now, we have found someone that we trust will be a good ambassador for us. 𝗪𝗓𝗓𝗓, our captain, is talking to him on a regular basis. Also, we are here to talk to the governments about who we are, what our intentions are for your just well-being. We see that there are many species that have good intentions, but we also see that there are many that have ill intentions for your planet. Therefore, we are here to help protect in some ways all the things that are human, all the things that are 𝗪𝗘𝗡𝗧𝗘𝗡𝗧 as well. Because being in contact with your people has taught us that your survival is also part of our survival.
Now, are you guys going to be working with like Girk Fitneer on this project, or is this something separate?
We are allies with Girk Fitneer, but our mission is separate. Our intentions are similar, but yet we are not part of their organization.
Okay, well, thank you.
You're welcome. 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗧𝗘𝗡𝗧.
There are people within the YouTube that are not familiar with you, Spirikos. Can you maybe tell a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and your mission?
We are from Andromeda. Our mission is to peacefully contact Earth and to help in any way we can with their negativity problems. Also, their social problems are quite extensive. But we are only here as commentaries or those that will give some advice. We are not here to take over. But we are from the Andromeda region. We are from many places in the universe at this point. And one of our stations is out by Jupiter. And we have several ships in the area at this time. Is there other information that you need? Our mission is peaceful.
Thank you. No, that was just one of the questions. I don't know if there's any other people that have questions for Spirikos. I believe 2 people requested Spirikos. So, oh, go ahead. Ava has a question. Go ahead.
Hi, Spirikos. Thank you so much for talking to us. I have a quick question because you mentioned protection, and I have so much protection, but I keep being attacked in all kinds of quite, I have to admit, impressive, inventive ways. Like last Monday, I was attacked for hours and looked like a flu with hours of panic attack. Very weird. So in some ways, there's part of me which actually appreciates the inventiveness of that. And I assume that some kind of reptilians did it because I hear them laugh. I hear that laugh. But well, I'm out of ideas how to protect myself.
One moment, and I will tell you something. Most attacks are very quick. So if you were receiving attacks that seemed very long, that does not seem possible. What is happening is they're attacking, putting in the disease, and making the disease last longer. So they are, the only ways to do attacks on humans at this time are small portals opening next to the body and giving the attack and then leaving. Other than that, the 7th dimensional beings have so many layers of protection around each individual that it is very hard to get through, except for opening wormholes next to the body, which they have learned to do. Now, they are trying to find protection from this. However, it is that it's still possible for them to get through. Even through all this protection, they still find a way to get through.
Okay, so it's the same species. It's not like
more than one species using the same technology.
Because that was so different than normally, like you're saying, I get hit and then quick repairs are happening. Well, this time was so different, and it took me actually hours to realize that there is something really horrible.
Well, and I'm going to say this for those out there, because many people are claiming to be attacked, and they're just suffering from third dimensional flu symptoms or third dimensional problems. Do not get them mixed up, because an attack will be something fairly severe very quickly. If it was like that, then it was an attack, and it will go away pretty quickly as well. But many people are saying they are attacked, but they are just living through third dimensional flus and depressions and things of this.
I know it was because I had this weird feeling of double reality. Like here I'm experiencing all these symptoms, but I'm actually not sick. Very weird feeling. So, and then my daughter, who is also a channeler, she confirmed that it was.
Excellent.
So it's just different. And again, I am actually quite impressed with what they come up with. All right, I want to take
Understood. And yes, that probably was an attack. But I'm saying that many people have got to understand there are attacks, and then there are third dimensional things that will happen to you as well. Do not call them attacks. You're giving negativity too much credit.
I have a question about attacks, if I may.
Yes.
What's the point of them?
To keep you down so that you do not do your mission as well, or
why-
have interruptions in your mission.
Well, but I mean, honestly, if they're so powerful they can attack you, why don't they just kill you?
Because had happened in the past, but now the seventh dimensional beings have put up protection against that. They cannot kill you any longer.
All right.
Does Jim need some water?
Yes.
Here you go.
The attacks are less than they used to be.
Okay.
I was told that killing, they could do it, but killing is not feasible because once you kill somebody, the mourning for them and the negativity that is spread and the worrying about them is all over. So it actually makes more sense to just keep attacking and keeping that negativity alive and keeping people worrying about people. Because if they're dead, they mourn them and they get on with their lives. That's what I was told.
That makes sense, yes. Because if you are in a bad state and continue in a bad state, other people are affected. And this brings down the whole ascension process.
All right. Okay. All right. There's a question from Michelle Mullet. Go ahead, Michelle.
Yes. Hello?
Hi there. Thanks for being here. I just have a question about the forced vaccines now in Canada on the West Coast and the East Coast. Is there an agenda behind that is a negative intent from alien race somehow?
What was the problem?
Forced vaccines for children and adults. Yeah.
No,
mandatory
actually,
forced vaccine.
that was more governmental on your government part. But yes, they were told by outside sources in the universe that this needed to happen. Otherwise, there would be an outbreak and disease would spread. And so this was supposedly that information was given by positive aliens and not negative ones.
I don't believe that for a minute. I don't believe that that's necessary.
There is,
I think
some vaccines are necessary for your people at this time because you are susceptible to many things. You are being visited by many aliens, and there are germs in your atmosphere that you are not used to.
Polio is one of the worst things that has been eradicated by vaccine.
Correct.
As well as also different fevers, yellow fever and things like that. And we don't know a world where that is prevalent. But if you go back 100 years, we had a president that was in a wheelchair because he had been stricken by polio. And
the thing is, there is bad rap about vaccines in your world. All kinds of information about mercury and things that are inside the vaccines that are very unhealthy. The thing is, much of that has been eradicated and corrected. These vaccines that you are now receiving should be the ones that are purified. I am not privy to that information if they are completely pure or not, but they are stopping. There has been no outbreak of disease with these vaccines. There are few always that will be allergic to them or will not be able to take them. About 2% of the population will not be able to handle these vaccines. And that is the way it's always been. But they do eradicate serious diseases, and they are not harmful to those that are not allergic to them. But you must understand, there are those out there that would have you not take the vaccines because they want you to be ill. This is the kind of information you must be careful with. There are those that will say vaccines are bad, and nurses and doctors will say that as well, because written documents have come out that says this is bad, this is what's in here, this is blah, blah, blah. They are, but you must understand, there is another agenda out there that doesn't want you to take these vaccines because it is protection. They want you to die.
I would agree that that is a bigger attack on humanity than the psychic attacks. This misinformation that has people distrusting things that have been created for their well-being.
There is so much distrust right now. Nobody knows what is true and what is not.
Yeah. And I think common sense sometimes gets overrun by conspiracy. Yeah.
But listen carefully. There are those that have refused these shots for their children. These children are now susceptible to these different diseases that are not human. They are not from this earth. And at this time in history, there is more aliens around your planet than ever before. The Vril, which is a civilization that has great amounts of bacteria, viruses, and disease, attacks people. And if they do not have this particular inoculation, they can be greatly harmed. Some people have dropped out of being in the enlightened stage because of these diseases. They said, if this is what it's going to be like in the illumination or the ascension, I can't be a part of it.
Can I just add to that?
Yes.
Thank you. It's come into my awareness that certain species have figured out how to turn off the God gene through these vaccines. Can you comment on that, please?
What is the God gene?
That's what I was told.
There is no such thing as a God gene. That is a total fallacy. Your soul is part of who you are. If there is one gene that controls God, then it would be all of your DNA, because God is in all of your DNA. One gene in the DNA is not God. That is a fallacy and must be stopped. That is a bad rumor.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. This is the kind of things that will stop you from getting protection. And I'm only here as I'm not here to be a medical advisor, but I am a positive being from a world that is far more advanced than yours. And we can see many different deceptions in your society at this time. Please, we hope that this polarization that is happening all over the world will be stopped, and that the information from the media, which is only about 50% true, will become more purified.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Yeah. There's a tendency for, especially in the spiritual world, that people start to wake up and then they think that the only thing that feeds them, clothes them, nurtures them is something that they're hearing from a channeler, and they look at the rest of society a lot of the time as being worthless and controlled, but they forget that a lot of the wonderful things that put electricity in our homes and, food in our bellies has come from the hard work of human beings just like them. And there's far less that is being given to us to destroy us than there is to help us grow. But a lot of the fear that we experience from just distrusting every little thing is what is destroying us. And that's what we have to reject, not things.
Correct. Fear is the destroyer, and it is prevalent on your world.
Yes.
There is a great amount of fear being taught, and the greater the fear, the greater the manipulation of the people.
Yes.
People are manipulated by these fears and will not respond if they are afraid. So they stay inside of the parameters of those that are manipulating. They are telling you all these negative things so that they can keep you in this box of manipulation. You must be courageous and move outside of that. There are those that say you can't be in a leper colony without getting leprosy, but that is not true. Mind over matter will correct that, and you can help those people by being there. The fear of being there is what kills you, what causes you to get the disease. But being there to help and pushing out your positivity into the group, you will not get leprosy if you believe you won't. This is the truth. Your mind is more powerful than any disease.
We are at the top of our hour, so
There is one more question here.
Okay, please go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I know that Jim and Angie are often called when people get these sudden, very intense attacks, like you were explaining, because they don't know how to get out of it by themselves. So if they can't stop it from happening, how can they stop it once it has happened without other people to call? Are there some measures to take so that they don't have to reach out beyond themselves for that healing?
They have the power to call on beings to help them. The 𝗪𝗓𝗓𝗓, Girk Fitneer, 𝗪𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓, they have beings to call that will help them through any attack. Even our people, if they would wish to call us, will help you and stop attacks from happening. We can do that without entering your atmosphere. We can cut them off from up here, which we do many times already. But personal attacks, it's hard to see those. But remember this, you have the power to call on others, not just other people that are that know these people, but you can call on them yourself. You don't have to call Angie to call on 𝗪𝗓𝗓𝗓 for you. you can call on 𝗪𝗓𝗓 yourself. You don't have to call on Jim to call on 𝗪𝗓𝗓 to help you through a situation. You can call on 𝗪𝗓𝗓 yourself. If you believe that they are there and true beings, you can call on them and they will help. You don't need anyone to be an intercessor for you. You can call on them yourself.
Thank you.
Does that not make sense?
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, then maybe you should call on someone. But I believe that many of you have weak belief systems about certain things. It's stronger in the fear area than it is in the trust area. And that is the way they want it. Much love to you. Blessings to your people from our people and from God, who is all people's people.
Thank you, Sparagos.
Thank you.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you. We're going to do some outro blessings. I think I see Saphira in the back.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Should we like announce who was in the rooms, because that wasn't.
I didn't do that. That's for sure. Okay.
Yes.
We have a lot of people in our room. Let me start with this room. Let me get to the beginning of the list because there's a lot. There's myself, Karen Newman, Steve, Michelle, Ava, Temple, Heather, Christine, Dawn, Luae, I hope I said her name right, Ian, Sultan, Catherine, Stephanie, Daniel, let's see, and Jim, who's in our room.
I want you to say your names as I point to you because I am losing my voice. Go ahead.
Angie.
Barbara.
Margie. Saphira.
David. Jeremiah.
Raymond.
Where's is Octavius there?
Octavius.
Is it Octavius?
Yes.
Octavius is the last one.
Oh, good. And we had Sheer here earlier, but he had to go. So
Okay.
yeah, a lot of people. Party. Anyway, so yeah, thank you everyone.
And Margie and Octavius are here for the first time.
Oh, welcome. Welcome.
So welcome.
So one more time before we go to the blessings, why don't you tell again about the magic class, how the people can get in touch, when it's starting, etc., etc.
Many of you have shown interest and sent your names to me, but now you have to send them to Angie because she has to collect the money. So her email address is on Hucolo Public and Private on Facebook. And it's going to be December 7th and 8th. The cost of the class is $150.
Friends and family.
Friends and family. Because if you don't do it that way, they take money out of it. And it's going to be 3 hours from 1 to 4 on Saturday, 1 to 4 on Sunday. And it's going to be taught by Merlin, and it's going to be Helen, who is a 6th dimensional magician, and one who is trying to interpret some spells for us. And it's just going to be a very interesting class. We had this class in the workshop. It was the favorite class of everybody. So it was everybody's favorite class. So it was cool.
Great. Perfect. So for the blessings, who we have Saphira.
Yeah.
And we have
1 moment, please.
Oh, I hear Grindel. Do you hear that? We have that was me trying to get out of the YouTube chat. You're coming through. That would have been a trick, wouldn't it? Saphira is going to do a blessing. Who else is going to do? Dawn's going to do one. And anyone else?
David.
Dave will do one and Ava will do one.
Yes, I will.
And Temple.
And Temple will do one. Okay, let's
All
start
right, lots of blessings. Wow. Okay.
with blessings of Mundo or whatever you would say.
Okay, you point out who's doing them. So,
Okay, Saphira, why don't we start in your room?
and David, you'll probably be next. Is there just two?
Yes.
Okay. Iya, oh, tu ia mino, iya, iyo, iyo, ihuma.
The spirits of the sky are always watching and always contributing to the knowledge of this species and race, and contributing to all species as they continue to move about in their ways and expand and grow. Let us be with one another in a peaceful way, mending and melding together the universe in the way that it should be brought forth. Be kind to one another, and let us all be friends.
Okay, David, go ahead.
Ia tāre he tuku kia wana hatama ichi e ru kuki wa hataya. Shikana hatoe ato mana hatewe he shi kuru utoe wa hate mana atukukuya wa hatai. Ru etkret kuru tukiteke skuru utukuya wana hatai mana hatukukia wa hataya. Ue shawa hateya ukukia wana hata.
1 moment, sorry for that.
And then I liked it.
Be aware that this is an important time for you. Do not take time for granted. Your missions must be completed in a timely manner, and the things that you must do are important. Remember not to take too much time for the negative properties that you run into, but move through them as quickly as possible. Let us see and maintain help with you so that we may give you the energy you need to succeed.
Thank you. Okay. The next one would be Temple. Go ahead, Temple.
Shutaya sa aneku unto pokia laktatu shutatia sonatia la ana tia sakiato ushukayata na la asatia ushutiano sutaya na itikiato uma tala iataka na uto ti shikiata na satiata putiata na nasiata. Namaste.
You are like a seed in the universe. We see you growing and flowering, and soon you will be able to be plucked and put on display. But at this time, you are still growing, and the plucking is not something of a negative thought process, but for an eternal beauty for us all.
Thank you. Go ahead, Ava.
Balaja va kisavo iniri kashava anyala iniki anamara lojava.
Let the light soak through. Let it be a part of your every movement and in your every way. We have discovered how pure the light can be and how we can use it for empowering many and ourselves.
Thank you. And Dawn, go ahead, Dawn.
Trashito nya yevito kusiteka suko seikuto troshitka na nakbiosu na akashi abraka elekoch kuturaknika ya atukur na titrosh ya isleka elekor khantaka.
We see that the fate of the universe is in your hands in many ways. There are things happening that we did not expect. And there are things happening that we did expect. However, now this future changes with every moment of time and every movement that you make. Let all things come to positive fruition. Let all things be what they should be in this time and space. We pray that it comes through purely.
Thank you.
Very good.
All right. So we will see you in 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
I don't know. Wait. We'll see you. What's this week? 2 weeks.
Yes. Yes, you'll see me in 2 weeks.
We'll see you in 2 weeks. Next week we have Tyler Ellison will be on again. And
okay.
Then we'll see you, and then we will see Saphira at the end of the month.
Someone wants the dog translated.
Yeah. What did the dog say?
The dog was saying, there's a siren going by. There's a siren going by.
Yes. Okay, now I'm hungry.
All right. And thank you, John, for monitoring the YouTube chat. So, and thank you for everyone for watching.
Have a great day.
Yeah,
Thank
please
you.
like and subscribe. Our views are going up every week, so thank you so very much. And for the people that are not in the room, the Zoom room, it's because this is a chat for, or this is a webinar for the Hucolo Club members. So if you'd like to be in the room with Jim, go to hucolo.org/webinars and you can come into the room. So, yeah. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Dawn, for all your work there. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
Thank you.
Jim, here's a quick energy ball for you to replenish what you just did, all right?